Joshua Barnes, now you will stay with us as we move on to our next news. Turkish police have arrested more than 120 city hall members in the opposition bastion of Izmir, according to local media and the opposition party, Republican Party's People's Party. In total, some 157 arrest warrants were issued in the operation as per local media. The arrests on charges of alleged corruption came after a similar operation in opposition-run Istanbul on March 19 that saw the arrest of its popular mayor, Ekrem İmamoğlu, the main political rival of Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. In Izmir, a former mayor and numerous senior officials were among those detained, according to Murat Bakan, the vice president of the opposition CHP. Bakan has said that these arrests were not a legal obligation but a clear political choice. Bakan also wrote on social media platform X that Tunç Soyer, a former mayor, and Şenol Aslanoğlu, the party's regional president, were among those detained. Now we are joined back by Joshua Barnes for this discussion. Thank you, Joshua, for staying with us. Joshua, what more can you tell us about this evolving situation in Turkey, and is it dangerous for President Erdogan that these people are? It's not a democracy anymore if these people opposition leaders keep being arrested.
Yes, well, Asuma, first I just want to clarify from NewsX World's position. Of course, we're not commenting directly on whether democracy is still at play in Turkey. What the comments coming from opposition has said is that these arrests aren't, of course, in line with a democratic process. But rather than talking about the arrests and focusing on that, let's provide some context here for you. Ekrem İmamoğlu, who at that point was the mayor of Istanbul, was of course arrested and has been incarcerated for 100 days now, and this at the time around a series of protests over the Erdogan rule, a clear faction there, but of course Turkey, a democratic country, and vote processes have been ongoing. But following Ekrem İmamoğlu's arrest, there were further arrests, over 1,000 people arrested during protests, and it seems that further action is continuing. İmamoğlu, after being arrested, was confirmed as the leader of the opposition and the candidate for the next presidential election. This, of course, while incarcerated, and difficult to see at the current stage how he would be carrying out that process. But questions, as you've rightly said, have been raised by the opposition. Opposition talking about democracy, a topic that will continue while there is such division. We will wait to see how that carries out, whether there will be further protests, further arrests, and any more discontent amongst rival groups with the Erdogan regime and their methods.
Thank you, Joshua. You will stay with us as we stay on this story. Clashes erupted in Istanbul